Good morning. This is Coach Candy with Coffee Chats. It is Tuesday training, and as I mentioned yesterday, it's going to be a little hectic and crazy, hence the earphones, as I am sitting at Midway Airport right now. I've got about hour and 15 till my flight back to Austin. But any of you that were watching the Cubs games yesterday, yes, we won the home opener 10-1. So anyway, good morning. Good to have you all here. Good morning, Connie Joe. Great to see you. Happy Tuesday. How are you? Hopefully you can hear me okay, because it is quite noisy and chaotic here at the airport. But how is everything going for everyone? Good morning. Good morning. Today, I know it's Tuesday training, but I'm actually going to open this up more for some Q&A. Oh, hey, Mark. Wow. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning, Elaine. Good morning, everyone. So let's talk about some of the things that we've gone through over the last couple weeks. For those of you that might be joining us for the first time or first couple trainings here in the morning, just to give you kind of the recap, we do a Monday mindset. So yesterday we got into talking about upper limits and the stories that you, great morning indeed. So we got into talking about the stories that we carry with us, the beliefs, the upper limits, the ways that we're self-sabotaging. So what I thought I'd do today was give you some tools that can really help from a mindfulness standpoint. I'm not going to go into a heavy training today just because I am at the airport and it's crazy and it's a bit hard to concentrate, and I'm just trying to make sure no one steps on me where I'm sitting. Good morning, Martha. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. So anyway, how's everybody doing from the conversation yesterday? We had a pretty heavy conversation to get our mindset ready. Good morning, Myra. To get our mindset ready for this week, we got into a big conversation around emotional triggers and upper limits and the stories that we're carrying with us. So I'm wondering if anything showed up after our conversation yesterday morning, and how you guys are doing still on your thankful throwdown, getting into that space to have gratitude for yourself and extend that gratitude out for others. So just want to know how everybody's doing. Good morning, Deborah. I love seeing all these beautiful people here this morning. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about how to create some mindfulness when some of that stuff's showing up, because we talked a lot about the awareness around those triggers, right? We talked about what happens when those upper limits kick in, or if those stories start to kind of plague us or weigh us down. And so I want to give you a couple things that are some breathing techniques. And again, it's actually going to be really good for me here as things are very chaotic at the airport. It's just going to help ground me. So we're going to do a little mindfulness. One of the easiest things you can do, and I think I might have shared this with you 2 weeks ago, but I'm not sure. Sometimes I forget what spaces I train what. But I want you to realize that you have a natural ground. You have several natural grounding points in your body to really help you bring yourself back to center, bring yourself back to that space of mindfulness. And I want you to realize that it's why you see yoga instructors do this a lot, but your middle finger to your thumb is one of those centering points. And I know we did this on this call, but what I want to do is I want to take that a step further. I want to do a little bit more in the breathing space. So what I want you to do is, when you're feeling any of that like churn or that anxiety or that stress or any of that emotion that's starting to plague you down, what I want you to do is I really want you to get into your body. I want you to breathe into your core center, and I want you to find your grounding point. And so I can only do it with one hand because I'm holding up my iPad with the other. But what I want you to do is I want you to do your middle finger to your thumb, and I want you to just breathe in. Before you start doing the deep breath work, I just want you to breathe in and notice your breath. And you know, for some of you that may struggle with meditation and some other things, it's not about trying to control your breath. It's just about noticing your breath and getting really connected into your breath. And this is the same space. So when you're in that grounding space, good morning, Renee. I want you to just really, before you even start taking the deep breaths and before you start to really go internal, I want you to just create that, now you get to see everybody else. Hold on one second. There we go. So as you can see, I'm at the airport. That's too funny. I have no idea how I did that. I'm not touching my phone or touching my screen. That was weird. Good morning. So what I want you to do is I want you to notice that this is a centering point. And so when you get into that space, I just want you to feel whatever you're feeling. And we talked about this yesterday, how once you can name the emotion, the real emotion, not the one that we think is socially acceptable or not the one that we think is okay, I want you to think about the real emotion and just allow yourself to sit in that emotion. I want you to feel your feelings. I want you to feel your emotions, because what happens is oftentimes we get stuck and those upper limits kick in when we try to push those feelings out. We try to stifle those feelings, or we do what I call shallow breathing. We do that, right? That almost hyperventilating kind of shallow breathing. Or what we do is we hold our breath. We do that and we hold all of that stress right here in our chest, because we're not just feeling into whatever anxiety, whatever stress, whatever feeling is coming up. And so what I want you to realize is that in itself is powerful. If you want to create more awareness around where your upper limits are coming, how the triggers are affecting you, et cetera, I want you to really get into a space where you can deeply connect with yourself to say, okay, I'm feeling this. It's okay. Where is that coming from? And then you can start that path of curiosity and exploration and dig into that more. And so just ground yourself. Plant your feet on the floor. Really just kind of square your shoulders back. And then I want you to just ground yourself and get into your body and just think, how am I feeling right now? Where is that feeling coming from? Where is it showing up? Good morning, Mario. Where is it showing up in my body? And I want you to just feel into that trigger. Because what happens is when you feel into it, you can break through some of those upper limits that we talked about, some of those beliefs that say things like, I can only be this successful, or I can only be this happy, or who am I to do this? Or, and here we go again, it keeps shifting. Okay, so apparently they just want you to, my Facebook wants you to see that I'm at the airport. So it's just going to keep flipping. I don't know if it's just because the way I'm talking or what I'm doing, or anyway, technology, gotta love it. So what I want you to do is, first and foremost, I want you to feel into that emotion. I want you to name it clearly, whatever that is, so you can get into. Go Cubs, go, yes. That was an awesome game yesterday. Just got to say, home opener. So happy that my boys finally showed up, and so did our bullpen, so that was awesome. But yeah, so feel into that space, right? Really just feel where it's happening in your body. Then what I want you to do is I really want you to start being mindful about the breath you take. So when you inhale, I want you to actually inhale as slowly and as deliberately as you possibly can. And when you inhale, I want you to think about everything that is abundant and clean and light and refreshing. And I want you to just feel as if you're giving your body a cleanse. And so what I want you to do is when you breathe in that oxygen, I want you to start from the very top of your head and like feel the energy and feel the breath fill every cell of your body with deep deliberation, so that it almost feels as if you're cleansing every cell as you breathe in that air. And just that visualization of breathing in and just feeling it hit every cell of your body, that will start to ground you and bring you into a deep space of mindfulness. Then when you exhale, what I want you to do is I want you to pretend that you're breathing into a straw, like a soda straw, and I want you to exhale out as slow or slower on the release, and let go of anything that's in your body that feels stuck, any of the emotion that feels heavy, and I want you to just And what's interesting is when you start to do that pattern, it slows down, your brain. It slows down that monkey mind that's going crazy. It slows your body down, and it gives you the power of pause to just kind of lean into whatever's showing up for you. Because what I want you to do is I want you to take that to the next level. Once you get comfortable being able to take those deep, cleansing, slow breaths and then release them out, what I want you to do is a technique that Navy SEALs train their, especially divers, but train their special ops people to do, and it's called box breathing. And what box breathing does is it really can, it can fully energize you. It can get you into space of clear focus, mindfulness, and it can clear out any of that unwanted like gunk or feelings or emotions or stuff that's getting stuck. And so the way that we're going to do that this morning, I'm going to do an easy one with you. And what I want you to do is start practicing this, because as you can build up the seconds or the length of time that you can hold your breath, the more you can ground yourself and get into that centered space. And so I don't care if you're on a plane. I do this on the plane a lot. I will just close my eyes. I will ground myself with my fingers, my feet, and I'll just breathe in. Sometimes if there's a lot of, screaming or talking or noise or things that are just stimulating me, because even smells and sounds and different things can trigger me with being such a high energy person. So sometimes I just need to bring myself down, right? I just need to ground myself, which is what you're doing, and create that mindfulness space. And so box breathing, what you're going to do is you're going to do a count of 4, a count of 4, a count of 4, a count of 4. So it's a box. So what it looks like is you're going to inhale for a count of 4. Inhale that deep cleansing breath, let it fill your body. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hold that air, that energy in your body for a count of 4. Then you're going to slowly release it out in that straw for a count of 4. And then you're going to hold an empty vessel, like no energy in your body, for a count of 4. Does that make sense for everybody? So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in and you're going to count. So that was a count of 4, right? Now I'm talking, so this is hard for me to do this and breathe at the same time in that space. But what you would do then is hold that for a count of 4 and just let the breath settle into your body, and then you'll release it for a count of 4, and then hold that empty space again for a count of 4. It is a great way to get yourself reset, to help calm you down, to help you focus. And if you practice that and can start building up to, I can probably do about a 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, which is pretty good, holding my breath that long. But I've been practicing this for a while. And what happens is the more you can do that, a couple things. One, it's going to really get you into that space to feel grounded. It's going to help you feel centered. It's going to help you feel clean. And you're going to feel much more energized. The other thing is it's going to help if you are somebody that's struggling with some of your meditation practice, slowing down. If you get into a practice of doing this a couple times a day, it doesn't take very long. It's a great way just to connect into yourself. Because most of the reasons why our upper limits take over and why we have all this stress and anxiety is because we just keep powering through it instead of actually sitting in it and letting our bodies adjust and allowing our brain to calm down and allowing ourselves to get centered and focused. So wanted to just share that with y'all this morning as I'm getting ready to head back to Austin. Because I wanted to be here. I wanted to make sure with the conversation we had yesterday, because I know it was a heavy conversation yesterday. I know I introduced some big thoughts, and I know for some of you that the emotions are already starting to kind of like show up and build, and wanted to give you some tools immediately that as you're feeling any of this stuff, as we start moving through this work, that you can truly bring yourself back to center, really get yourself focused, and allow yourself opportunity to show up from the best place possible. Because as always, leadership's a choice. It's a choice on how you choose to show up, how you choose to serve, and how you take that responsibility. And tools like these are you taking responsibility to show up at your best and highest self. So questions about that, thoughts about that. I want you to practice the 4x4, the box breathing. Start with a 4x4. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold again for 4 where there's no breath in your body. And so I hope you guys find that to be powerful. I actually had one of my gurus, Brendan Burchard, is the one that introduced that to me originally, and it's been a game changer. Lane, I've always struggled with meditation, but I love this to ground myself. I will also tell you another great way to get to do meditation if you struggle. One, get yourself grounded first in your breath, then put a candle in front of you. And while you're meditating, just simply watch the flame. Well, just watch the flame for however long you want to sit in that grounding point, because all you need to do for meditation is have a focal point. You need to create something that you can channel your attention and slow yourself down. So start with this breathing exercise or some of these techniques, and then put something like a candle in front of you. Oh, I love that, Martha. I will practice box breathing today. If you do this every day, if you practice this, not only will your cardiovascular system feel better, you will actually be taking deeper breaths. You will start to feel much lighter in your body, because we don't realize how much we don't breathe like we're supposed to normally. Most of us are doing a lot of shallow breathing. We're just moving, talking, right? And so to slow down and make sure that you're you're getting oxygen and energy and blood flow into your body is absolutely critical. So I love that you're going to practice that today, and I hope that you'll start to create this as a regular practice. And again, going back to the meditation space, think about creating a focal point specific on there. But I have found, and it's been really powerful, to use a candle when I really have a lot of monkey mind going on. Put a candle in front of you and watch the flame. and just allow yourself to just slowly ease into that space and just sit there and watch the flame as long as you can. And you will have allowed yourself to kind of go into that meditative trance, that meditative space, and that grounding centered space for yourself. So just another little tip there for those of you, because I know I struggle with meditation as well. Also, don't think meditation means you have to sit. I do a lot of my meditation walking. So I do walking meditations. I do them out in nature. I do them with Peyton. I find that I really can ground myself and center myself when I'm in that space to talk about really taking in clean energy, especially in Texas. We've got just incredible air and energy, and I do that quite a bit. So find what works for you. And then start implementing some of those things more deliberately versus waiting until you're already stressed out or already at your max. What I want you to do is I want you to start creating preventative measures so that you are more proactive in how you're showing up in your mindfulness and things like that. So good morning, Shirley. Welcome. So any other questions or thoughts about that? I don't want to keep you guys too long this morning, and I want to make sure. So how's everybody doing? Any questions? This was a little easier than I thought it was going to be at the airport. Awesome. I'm glad I found a little quiet spot. Oh, good morning. All right, then. Well, I am going to, how are we? Oh, we're doing this a little bit shorter call. So I'm more than happy to answer some questions about anything that we've talked about over the last 2 weeks. I know some of you have been on here every day. Some of you are just joining us for the first time, and some of you have only just recently started joining us. So questions or thoughts about anything that we've been talking about over the last 2+ weeks now, because I want to make sure that I can be helpful and honor that for you. So just let me know. I'll give you a minute. I know sometimes there's a delay, and I think it's a little slow internet right now here anyway, so I'll give you just a quick minute. Okay, so I hope you all take some of these tools and start implementing them. I hope you have a phenomenal Tuesday. Tomorrow we're going to get into the Wednesday Wonder space. So we are going to do more around dancing in the possibilities. So we're going to have some fun. And then Thursday will be another throwdown of gratitude in a different space. And then Friday I will be featuring something else. Thanks for the tips. Safe travels. Thank you so much. I love you all. I'm sending you huge heart-to-heart hugs. And make it an absolutely fantastic and terrific Tuesday. Mwah. I will catch up with everybody tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Shirley.